Welcome everyone to Club Live and our Old Firm preview on this Friday before the big one on Sunday. Welcome to all the usual punters and any new listeners as well. So if everyone could please remember to like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. I am joined by the main man, Scott Carney. How are you, mate?
Yes, I'm good, mate. Yes, I'm all good. It's the Friday before the Old Firm, mate, isn't it? So yeah, everything's starting to feel that way that it does before an Old Firm. But yeah, just the two of us tonight, mate. Ryan has fuck it, Ryan's in Cheltenham.
Yep.
Ali is picking up dog dirt.
Dog dad duty. And Nicky Irvin is on actual real dad duty. So congratulations to Nicky on the his third child coming into the world last night.
Yeah,
so congrats, Nicky.
Nicky was due to be with us tonight, but obviously he's just had a baby. So very much congratulations to Nicky. Baby and mum is all fit and healthy, and I think they were due to go home later today, I think, possibly. But no, all the best and congratulations from all of us here at the pod. But yeah, old firm weekend, mate. There's very little feeling like it.
I mean, it starts building up. I mean, we're going to go into that because we've got a whole section of that in itself, but it really starts building up about 1 or 2 weeks before, doesn't it? It's just it saps the life out of you.
It absolutely does, mate. And it's been kind of consumed me all week. Everybody's pretty much the same. I would have thought. I think really since Sunday morning, you're starting to think, oh, this time. I actually said to myself, I was like, I said on Sunday when I woke up, I said, exactly 7 days from today, I'll be waking up and it'll be Old Firm Day, and I'll have that feeling, and I'll have that dreaded feeling of the Old Firm. But yeah, it consumes you, mate. It consumes all your thoughts. You literally work.
Yep.
You walk through your week just thinking about Sunday, and I honestly think like my week's been actually really fast this week because of what Sunday is. And I was trying to think before because I thought about it when I was finishing up today. I know I was off Monday, but I was like, I wonder if it's usually like this, or I've just noticed it more this time round. I don't know, but I thought that my week was rapid, and all of a sudden it's Club Live time on a Friday night, and I'm going, right, Sunday's very close now.
Yeah, well, even we obviously had the live night in the Viceroy the other night, and I thought that was going to drag in, but I think it helps if you're a wee bit busy on work and things like that, and you can just get there and just tick off the days, and we're obviously 2 more sleeps to the big one. So, firstly, I'm going to chat about the live show. If you want to do the honour and stick the details up, Scotty.
Give me 2 seconds.
So obviously, we're doing our end of season show live at the Loudon Tavern again. So we're returning to Loudon for a second time at the end of the season, and it could really be a big one if all things go away. Friday the 31st of May, it's 7:30 to 10 p.m. Tickets are on sale on the... Where'd you get them again, Scotty?
Ticket source. The links in the description for this pod, and if you're technically minded, you can scan that QR code, and that will take you directly to the tickets.
Excellent. There we go. I should have really been doing work there, shouldn't I? So obviously, it could be a great end to the season. It could be the cherry on top of the cake, Scotty, couldn't it?
Absolutely. First, again, I will apologise, everybody, for Club Deck Corner on Tuesday night because of the sound issues. Obviously, it wasn't intentional. We did do a test beforehand when we recorded. It didn't work. I don't know why. Honestly, we've got no idea why, but we have learned from that mistake. We just wanted to put it up because we thought, well, people still might like to kind of hear from us. But yeah, in terms of a quality podcast, or the quality that we think our podcast did live up to, that was nowhere near it. Absolutely nowhere near it. So, literally, apologies so much. Thank you, everybody, for being so understanding about it as well. It's not often we make a hooting ass of it. Well, I do occasionally. The guys don't. It's usually me. But it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. As soon as we'd done it, and as soon as I'd put it all together, I was like, "What's going on?" And all of a sudden, I noticed that the sound was out, and I was absolutely devastated, as the guys will say. The guys will back me up, but we still put it out. But again, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I can assure you that it won't happen again. But yeah, in terms of a live show, mate, it could be a hell of a show, mate. It will be anyway. I think going by the way the first one went, the first one kind of blew my expectations out the water of what to expect. I kind of thought we'd be standing talking there to about 10 people, mate, but we pretty much sold the place out. And we had a great laugh, we really did. Obviously, we had Stevie with us the first time round as well.
Stevie was brilliant. Stevie was absolutely brilliant.
Stevie was superb, and we raised a great amount of money for the Rangers Charity Foundation, which we will hope to do again as well on the night. We're already in chats with them about getting sort of prizes and stuff sorted for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, very much looking forward to it, mate. It was a hell of a buzz. We'll pull our Iron Mars down a little bit, mate, and say that me and you were in bands, man. I've been in a band many moons ago. So we're no stranger to a stage anyway, even though we've not done it in about 17 years, 18 years, something like that.
No, it'd been a while since we graced the stage, hadn't it? But yeah, it wasn't quite the kind of musical theme that we were used to before. But no, it was what a night. It was brilliant, and I think the Turkish Delight's got to be back, doesn't he? We could maybe even get the real one. Actually,
if we could get the real one, I mean, a Rangers put it in.
Put a good word in.
Yeah, but no, look forward to it. Yeah. Could be a cracking night, Jamie. Generally, could be a cracking night. As you say, we are very much looking forward to it. It's a completely different element. We're obviously much kind of more relaxed about things. I think the conversation flows a lot better as well when we're all in person. If only it was that easy to do that all the time. But we're very much looking forward to it. Hopefully, you can make it. We could be celebrating a really special season. But even if not that, I assure you'll still come along and you'll have a great night. Like a few pints on a Friday to start off your summer with us clowns.
It's also not halfway through January, so everyone's not going to be skint. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
It's not the same as that, and it's going to be party fever too. It's going to be party fever. So yeah, get down there, get your tickets, and get along. It's going to be a great night. So yeah, first thing we're obviously going to come to, mate, I was just chatting about there, is the Old Firm buzz this week. It's the build up to the big one. We alluded to the fact that it's possibly the biggest there's been in around a decade. It really does feel like that, because obviously the year that we won the league, we were so far ahead. We won the league in March. I remember we obviously had that last Old Firm where Roof scored the header. We won 4-1, but really it was signed, sealed, delivered by that point. So getting to this point in the season and having such a monumental game against the other side of Glasgow, it just feels huge, doesn't it? It just feels massive. So it's the usual bag of nerves. All week you can't sleep. You're going over every single tiny wee thing in your head, what lineups, things like that. I always watch old games, and I torture myself with old games. I've been doing it all week. So what do you do to ease the Old Firm pre-match nerves usually, Scotty?
You're right though. This game, it feels like the biggest one for a long time. It really does. It feels pretty ginormous in terms of where we are this season, and I think that probably stems as well from where we started this season and the kind of state that we found the squad in under Beale. And I think to get where we are now, and look, they've regressed. I think there's no doubt, but we've definitely improved, like almost tenfold improved under Clement. So to get into this position where a win for us would really, I mean, the old cliche, nothing will be won and lost on Sunday, but I think a win for Rangers could be pretty massive, and I think even a win for them, I think, could also be pretty massive. I think it's big on both sides. I think this is the first time in a long time that both sets of supporters, I speak to some of them unfortunately at work, but I think none of them are really feeling particularly confident. They're not overly confident. They're not really sure what Celtic's going to show up. They don't know what Rangers is going to show up. So it's on the flip of a coin. I really do think it is on a flip of a coin, this one. It's going to be a tight game. It's a nervy game, but it's what you want to be involved in this stage of the season. It's what it should be at this stage of the season. We're old enough to remember games like this in the past, mate, where it's just sweaty palm stuff, and I expect Sunday to be absolutely no different. In terms of dealing with the nerves, I don't, mate. Honestly, I'm the worst. People that have watched this podcast for a while will know that I'm terrible with Old Firms. I don't enjoy the games. I don't really enjoy the build-up to it. It it kind of consumes me. It consumes my thoughts. It consumes my feelings. It's all I can really concentrate on. Being busy at work helps during the week, don't get me wrong. I even think us doing the pod, even though it didn't work on Tuesday night, doing that kind of broke up my week as well, as we were in the Viceroy recording the pod. But in terms of tomorrow is the worst day. But luckily I have plans tomorrow, and non-alcoholic plans. I'm doing things with my wee man tomorrow, which is going to keep me occupied, and I suppose I'll use him as much as I can as a distraction tomorrow to keep me from going mad. Really, as soon as he gets put down tomorrow night, though, mate, I'll be pacing. I'll be walking in between the kitchen and living room, not be able to sit still, doing the missus head in, mate. So yeah, I try my best to try and consume the nerves, but it never really happens.
I need to actually watch out on the night before the Old Firm, and this has happened a fair few times where I have a wee glass of wine with my dinner, and then it turns into a bottle, and it turns into 2 bottles, and then on the day of the game, I'm absolutely hanging out my arse. So I'm going to try and go to my bed. I'm going to try and go to my bed early on Saturday. But yeah, as in terms of nerves, that's the way I deal with it. I just like go over things. I look at the games from this season. Look at the 1-0, watch the 2-1. Look at things, because obviously it's the fact is the core of that team is still there. It's really Phil Clement that's came in and just gave them that extra bit they've needed for us to compete again. So it's revisiting old games and thinking, and it's, to some you would probably find that a wee bit torturous, but to others it's a sort of sense of, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a release. So no, I think it's going to be I agree with you. Saturday before is always the most nervous you can get. And you just want it to kick off. You just want it to be 12 o'clock.
I think on a Saturday night I will. Saturday night before, even a Friday night before, I don't tend to really have a drink on a Friday. But if it was the Old Firm the following day, I'd maybe have a couple of beers, and that's really more to just to get myself to sleep. I definitely don't overdo things on the night before. Ali's like you couldn't give Ali a free bar on the day before an Old Firm game because you wouldn't touch it. He just would not. Doesn't even consider touching a drink the day before an Old Firm.
No. And I've been with Ali Pearson in the Viceroy. The boy can shift the pint, so I find that very
he
surprising.
Likes a pint. Yeah, he likes a pint, but there's no way that Ali would you honestly a free bar and Ali would be like, no, I'm not drinking. He doesn't drink before an Old Firm. It's a weird kind of ritual with him. But yeah, as I say, we've mentioned many times before, Ali will pick me up in the morning on an Old Firm, and we're both miserable. He'll probably pick me up actually Sunday. We've not even discussed that yet, but he'll probably pick me up on Sunday. But it's it's just one of those things. He's like, "How are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm terrible. I don't feel good at all." It's one of the most horrible feelings ever. I know
that's why I brought it up, because everyone's just got different ways of dealing with it. Some folks start thinking about it 2 weeks before, a week before, the day before. Everyone's just different. But there's one thing that's, in terms of magnitude and big games, there's not been bigger in the last 10 years or something. No. So let's get into it. So yeah, so first, mate, obviously we're going to chat about the press conference today. It was pretty much as we all expected. No fresh injuries. Clement was kind of keeping his cards close to his chest a wee bit. It seemed he was painting it more as a 50-50 in terms of Ridvan. I think he'll start if he's trained. What are your thoughts on it?
We'll need to wait and see. I think I would. The fact that he's not been ruled out altogether is, I'm looking at that as a positive. But I also think Clement's at the stage now where he even said it in the press conference today that he's not, as I say, nothing's won or lost on Sunday in terms of the league. So I don't think he would take a unnecessary risk with him unless he thinks he's fit enough to play probably 75 minutes. Then I don't think he will. I don't think he'll play him because he knows he's kind of going to need to rely on him to an extent for the rest of the season. And again, without turning it into a Barisic bashing, none of us really want to see him anymore, and none of us have been particularly impressed with him. So Ridvan is the left back going forward. So I think it'll all depend how Clement thinks how many minutes he can get out of them. I feel like every single one of our players doesn't have 90 minutes in them. And I know that's an over exaggeration, I do get that, but it seems
Aye,
to be like all he says, and I'm like, God, he's not got 90 minutes in him either. And you're like, bloody
I
hell.
know, I
So
know. Well,
I
I
think
mean, it seems to be the key players that's happening with. Obviously, Seema's the other one that he was chatting about, and these are real key players. I mean, we all seen what Seema did at the start of the season before he get injured at Afcon. Really, he was pretty much the most influential player that we had in the squad. So for me, I'd be wanting him to start again. You don't really know, because Clement, as per usual, he likes to keep folk guessing. I mean, quote wise, he said today, "No nerves from me. I love it. This is something you need to embrace. I have a lot of confidence in our squad. I have a lot of confidence in our fans." And then Big Goldson also said, "We have to use the atmosphere to our advantage. We have to get them rolling and off their feet." So obviously, these are the kind of comments that you want to see from leaders within the club coming up to such a massive game. Noticeably, they'll both pointing out the fans. So we really need to back the team like we've not before, really, mate. I mean, it's in a good number of years, don't we?
yes, I think the this time round, I think there's been previous times where there've been no fans in, and we're going there and we're maybe not feeling the best about the way the squad is. I think this is the best we've felt about the squad probably since Gerrard. It's the most confident we've felt in
Aye.
the squad. Well, maybe not the squad, maybe the
Yeah.
manager. It's probably more the manager that we feel like we've got more confidence in, but the players are responding to the manager, obviously. So, yeah, look, of course we have to make it count, as will they. Will try and do that for the final Old Firm game of the season when we go to Parkhead. So they'll be thinking it along exactly the same lines. It's critical for the team to get the fans on side in terms of no messing about, approach the game the right way. But I have got every faith that Clement is going to approach this game the right way. That's why I don't see there being a drastic change that nobody's thought about, or
No.
he's going to pull something out the bag that we've not seen before this season. I don't expect any of that to happen. I expect it to be, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do the same thing as we've done before, and we've got better at what Clement was trying to do the first time round, if that makes sense. So
Yep.
I think the fans will be up for this because we all know what it means. I think the manager and the players can play it down as much as they like. We as all fans all know that a win for us and a win on Wednesday puts us in a very commanding position going into the split. I mean, if you say we were going to be 5 points clear with 5-6 games left at the end of the season, you would absolutely bit somebody's hand off for it. So I'm very
100%.
much I'm very nervous about it, as you can tell. I hate talking because as I'm talking about it, all the scenarios start going round in my head
I
about
know.
what could happen.
I see you rubbing your hands together
My
already. Do you know what I
hands,
mean?
mate, sweat,
I'm doing the same, but
absolutely,
under the desk, like.
yeah, sweaty palms, mate, absolutely. But look, I think the crowd will be up for it. We're all up for this. We know what it means, and I think the team thoroughly deserve the backing, considering what they've done, the run that they managed to get on in Europe,
Aye.
where they've got themselves to in the league. And the position that we're in going into this final run in, the kind of home straight, if you like, then the team thoroughly deserve our backing, and I think Ibrox will be absolutely rocking on Sunday at midday, mate.
Aye. Well, I mean, it's interesting that you bring up obviously the confidence that we didn't have in Beale and his management team. Is obviously that first Old Firm in, was it September, start of September,
Mm-hmm.
it was just in terms of the way in which we set up. We did not have a good pre-season. Nobody really liked the way in which we were approaching games. It didn't look like the same team that won 55. So it's polar opposites, really. Clement's came in. It's high tempo. You're playing high up the pitch. It's get the ball forward as quick as you can. It couldn't be any different, and that's why as fans we are raring to go into this one. And I'll say, like, not a lot of people before that 1-0 defeat were confident. The writing was almost kind of on the wall early season, I think, because of the poor pre-season we had and the way in which we were setting up in a lot of these league games. So yeah, I just think we've just got to go into tomorrow confident, and you've got to take Big Phil's words as gospel as well, and just have the same confidence that the management team and the captain has as well.
Yeah, I think by what Clement and what Goldson said today in the press conference, I do honestly believe that the players are going, well, we were on a good run of form. we are going into this, if we all do our jobs to the maximum of their ability, if we do that, if the fans are at the maximum that we can be, the players at the maximum they can be, I fancy Rangers. I do fancy Rangers. Yeah. I think we don't need to catch them on an off day. I think if we go toe to toe, and I think we'll overcome this one with the home advantage. I think that I wouldn't consider us favourites. I honestly don't think there is a favourite. I've not checked the bookies. I would never put on a bet in an Old Firm because I'm not an absolute lunatic. I would never do such a thing like that. I'd see people that, even see when people are doing their coupons and they put Rangers on. I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, yeah, no. I'm the same. I find it a jinx. But also a few seasons ago, I think I'd put like a first scorer or something like that on, and then we ended up getting battered at Parkhead. I think it was a 4-1, the 4-0 game, the 4-0 game, and I just thought never again. No. Like it felt like a jinx, and it takes up too much of my time to actually go and have to do it. I've got too much time to be sitting feeling nervous. Do you know what I mean? To be on putting bets on. So I just find that a bit of a jinx overall.
Yeah, I've never put Rangers on a coupon ever. Honestly, I don't think I've ever done it since I've started doing them. I don't think I've ever done it because I'm just like, well, if I put Rangers on to win, we'll get beat. Like
we're gonna lose.
It's always gonna
exactly.
It's always gonna be my mindset of like, well, if I back Rangers, we'll probably get beat. So no, I don't do that. No, I don't do that. So, but no, as I say, it's. I think the players will feel right up for it, mate. I think the fans are feeling up for it. I think we're kind of going into this with our eyes wide open for a change. I do think it is for a change. I don't think anybody's saying that we're going to go out and run over the top of them. I think we all know that we're in for a tough, tight game. I think it will be quite a tough, tight game for us. Not kind of no matter what. I've not spoke to anybody that's like, oh, we're going to go out and battle them. I'd love to think that we could, and I would love for it to happen. Of course, I would. But they're going to be up for it because they know themselves. And Brendan Rodgers knows himself, and I don't like really talking about them. But if they get beat and we win on Wednesday night, the pressure on him is going to be ginormous, absolutely ginormous. Whereas Clermont, not that Clermont can afford a defeat, because I don't actually think that he can. I don't think Rangers can afford a defeat. I think we have to win in order to give us a real chance of winning this league. I do believe it's a must-win game for Rangers. I know that I don't want to be too over the top, but I do think a draw to me is not really any good. I think for us to lay down a marker, we have to be looking at taking all 3 points on Sunday. And I don't think the pressure, even if we draw, the pressure on Clermont won't be anything. But a defeat for them would and a win for us on the Wednesday night, and I'm not taking that for a given. I'm not taking that for a given whatsoever. But a win for us on the Wednesday night, all of a sudden there's a 5-point gap there, mate. And as I say, for me, that's a nice way to be going into these last remaining games.
Well, I think really you just need to look at it in realist terms. We were 8 points behind, so nobody expected us to be back in this title race. Not to say that it's not of massive importance and magnitude at the moment, but I mean, even Rodgers obviously self-alluded to the fact that just don't get beat. I think was in his press conference today. Nobody's saying that we're.
Is that what he said today?
Something like that. I don't know if that's word for word. Somebody might correct me in the comments, but something along those lines, pretty much. So I mean, I don't know if that's a sit in and don't play, but nobody is masking the fact that they're a good team. They've got good players. They've got players that can play in the shoulder and hurt us. Nobody is saying they don't. We've all seen the players that they have. So we need to be on our toes big time, because they have players in an offensive sense. I've always said I don't think they're really great shakes at the back, but they have players that can turn a game on its head in a split second. We all seen that in December in the 2-1 game. I thought that, I obviously watched it with you in the Viceroy. I thought that was a pretty level game, actually. I thought that was a pretty level game. I think we could have came away there with a 2-2 draw easily. So I just think on Sunday we need to be very wary of the players that they have, the danger men. And I know for a fact that Clermont will have some sort of plan to nullify them. Obviously, we'll get onto the teams later on in the chat. So firstly, though, it's a time for a word from our sponsors.
Oh, hang on. There you go. Sorry, mate.
There we go. So this podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Did you know that one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? Testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer amongst men aged 15 to 35. With April being National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, our friends over at Manscaped have partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer. And as always, you can use our promo code CLUB@22 for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. You can perform simple routine self-checks at home while enjoying Manscaped products you use every day, like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We use products daily to trim and maintain our boys down there. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra features 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth and sleek. With dual LED spotlights, you'll achieve better visibility, making every trim more precise and hassle-free. The thing is waterproof, shave in the shower, in the bath, or in the River Clyde if you like living on the edge. In addition to providing the right tools and solutions for comfortable and easy grooming, Manscaped is committed to raising awareness and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer. That's why they will be donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society. Help save lives and balls by going over to manscaped.com/TCS and check the Check Yourself video. And while you're at it, grab 20% off plus free shipping with code CLUB@22. Men's health and hygiene is at the core of Manscaped. It's the essence of their cause. Manscaped's partnership with the Testicular Cancer Society will raise awareness on an issue that impacts men of all ages. Shave to save.
Check yourself. That's good, mate. That's good. No, we are generally.
It's a bit more of a serious Manscaped than the usual Manscaped. And you know what? It's good to highlight these things, and that's why we like to have Manscaped as a sponsor.
Yeah, but we don't mean to bring the tone down of the podcast like that, but it is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April, and we are delighted to be partnering with Manscaped on this. Check yourself. Without going into too much detail, Jamie and I are both directly affected by cancer. We have people very close to us that have cancer, so check yourself. That's it. Just check yourself. Go on. It is quite a funny video. I've watched it. It is quite funny, but there's always time to check yourself and make sure that everything's all right down there. And they say using our code, and the people that have used our code, you are part of the donation that's going to the Testicular Awareness Cancer Society. So thank you very much, everybody. It's very much appreciated.
Absolutely. Good word, Scotty. So picking back up from where we left off and on to obviously the press conference and what we were chatting about, mate, with a player that we're all wanting to see, and I just thought we would extend that out a wee bit and chat in greater detail about him. Rid van Yilmaz, obviously excellent second half of the season. He's been a real driving force going forward. He's involved in a lot of the high tempo, slick attacking football that we're basically becoming to know Big Phil's teams for. Just how important is he, mate? And are you sweating if he doesn't play on Sunday?
I think that would depend on who plays instead of him. To be honest, who would play at left back ahead of him? I'd say I don't think it should be Barisic. If it isn't going to be Yilmaz, it should be Sterling. But there's always one player. There's always a player that's been in form as you're going into an old firm that might or might not be fit. It's the same situation for them with McGregor. There's always seems to be one. It always happens, mate. Big old firm games, and it's always they might not be fit. They might not make it. I think Yilmaz is crucial for us. I do. I think the form that he's found, the leaps and bounds that he's came up under Clement has been tremendous. Easy for me to say. I'll put my teeth back in. I think it's been excellent. I really do. I think it's been excellent, and he is vital for us on that left-hand side. I think he's the one that gives us the most confidence on the left-hand side. I don't think he's perfect, but one thing that I love about him, and I've said this a million times, is his ability to cut out the ball when he reads the game really well. He cuts out passes in the right area, in our kind of middle third of our half. He picks out the passes, and he immediately goes forward with it. There's always somebody that he's going to pick out with that pass, and I really like that about him. I do, and I think that could be a really key element for us on Sunday. But in terms of who it has to be Sterling at left back. It can't be
Yeah.
Barisic. There's far too many people scarred with Barisic, seeing him sit down at the back post at Parkhead, for example, because Ryan will never let you forget that, no matter how many times you try. But I don't think any of us would feel confident. I will definitely be sweaty palms if it's Barisic at left back on Sunday. I'm not going to lie, and I don't mean to try to take anything away for the guy, but everybody will know where I'm coming from. I don't think this is the game for Borna Barisic. I really don't. So if anything, if Yilmaz can't make it, it has to be Sterling at left back for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've not been as outspoken on here on the podcast as I am on my group chat with some of the boys that I sit around with. And Barisic for me hasn't been the same player since we get beat in that 4-0 game in February when Gio was manager. Back post Barisic, obviously, he get the nickname of. But really, that is harsh. But there has been too many times since then that he's let us down. And in such a huge game, we just can't afford to be playing him. And I think, obviously, we chatted about on Tuesday night when we were in the Viceroy about the fact that Sterling came on, and you almost breathe a sigh of relief because defensively he's sorted, and he still has that attacking prowess that we need to find our shape and to still play that high tempo, attacking, free flowing football that we want to see Rangers play. So no, I totally agree. I'm with you, mate. If it comes 11 o'clock on Sunday and I see Barisic on the team sheet, I'm not going to be feeling confident. I'm not going to be feeling confident because I don't like. We've said before, we don't like talking about the opposition. We don't like talking about them, but they have players that can hurt us, and they have quick players as well. Off the shoulder, really, he's caught sleeping sometimes, and I just think Yilmaz, as you said, just reads the game so much better, and also he seemed to strike up a very good partnership with Silva for 3 or 4 games. I mean, obviously, we can go on and chat about Silva and the impact he's had on Saturday. I don't think he was great, but I think again, as we spoke about the other night, I think it's because he had Barisic behind him. He didn't have that same quick interplay that he's been used to. And Barisic was a wee bit withdrawn in terms of running forward and actually showing for the ball. So what are you thinking then? Do you think Silva's going to be in? I mean, I've obviously been doing the usual scanning Twitter. I've seen a lot of folks saying Sima should be back in and Sima should be starting on the left. And we all know the impact he has. So it's really, for me at the moment, it's 50-50. And the good thing for me for Sunday is I could take either of them, and I think they'll both have a really good game.
Yeah, the Trying Scotsman said, "Who's at Loudon 31st of May? I've got my tickets for it, but if Ali isn't there, I'm not going." Trust me, Alistair Pearson will be there. You couldn't stop Alistair Pearson from being there.
Well, look, the Trying Scotsman, because I actually remember. Ali flagged that again on Tuesday, as Ryan pointed out on the Club Live last Friday. He said that he will literally buy every single person that buys a ticket a pint. Was that a pint or was that a double? Can't mind.
Yeah. He's definitely going to buy everybody a drink. He's a very generous man, Alistair. He really is. And I'll speak so for him since he's not here to say it for himself. I think he wouldn't mind me saying this. And the chances of him watching this because he's not on it are slim to none. So it will be. I'll be Alistair's privilege to buy everybody that buys a ticket. You will get a pint from Alistair Pearson. It's really is top draw from Alistair. It really is.
That's a reason in itself, isn't it? It's a reason in itself,
isn't it, mate? Isn't that just a perfect reason to come with the fact that Alistair's like, I'll buy everybody a pint. Such a great guy, really, such a fantastic guy. In terms of in terms of the left hand side. I would be shocked if it's Sima. I really would. I think if Yilmaz plays, I think Silva plays there because they've had a bit of experience there with each other. My biggest problem with Barisic, if it was to be him at left back, is he's too timid, and he's been too timid for about the past 2 seasons. There was a time where he was quite strong in his tackle, and he was quite brave in his tackle. Now he backs away too much when the player's running at him. All of a sudden, he ends up right next to the left centre half and kind of lets them do the work for him.
I get what you mean. He's always backpedaling, isn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to pick the perfect time to do the pass, and he's almost too scared to make a mistake because of the way the crowd can get, and I just don't think it is the game for him, and that's the bit that concerns me about him. I think he's lost that wee bit of bravery about him to take that risk to win his tackle, to make sure that he wins his tackle, and I think, yeah, for me, it wouldn't make sense to play him. I think I'm trying my best to hope to send all my thoughts about it to Clement right now telepathically. But in terms of left hand side, look, I get the shouts for Sima to come back in. I think we've missed him. I think we have almost forgot the kind of contributions that he was making before he got his injury. He's been a fantastic player for us. He really has. But I still think Clement's he's too what's the word? Not safe. Safe's not the right word, but he's still very much thinking at the long game. He's thinking of the long game, and he won't put players in risk. I don't believe that he would do that. I think it would be slightly unfair on Sima to be dropped for the game. I think the first leg against Benfica, I get who it was against and what it meant to him personally on that level. I do understand that. I think you've got to take that into account to a certain extent, but he was really good. He was really, really good. I don't think he quite reached that height again, and I agree with you on Saturday. I don't think he was his best, but he did have Barisic behind him, which is, do you know what I mean? So he's probably thinking, I can't do too much here, and Barisic wasn't making the runs in order to reward Silva with that space he tends to get. So if Yilmaz starts, I think Silva will start in front of him, and I don't think too many would be too upset at that. I think we all have to understand that Seamus can back off. It's quite a long injury. He's been out quite a while, and to fling him in, even though he looked sharp when he came on, but it was towards the latter end of the game, and Hibs were pretty much done at that point. So, it is quite a difficult one. But if Yilmaz starts, I fully expect it to be Silva on the left.
I mean, the only one thing I will say about Silva, obviously, like I'm with you on the Benfica away. I thought it was brilliant. I thought he got a little bit more space that game to run into, but I thought he was very impressive. The return leg, it was pretty average. I mean, it was a bit. We spoke about it as a bit of a sort of nothing game, really. The one thing that worried me about Saturday was he gave the ball away a lot. Sunday, ball retention needs to be right in the 90%, by the way, because, again, don't like talking about it, they'll punish us if we give the ball away. So we need players that can manage to hold on to the ball as well. I just think, having seen Sima play the first half of the season and seen Silva for a large portion of the second half of the season, I think Sima's tracking back is so much better. I think there was times at 2-1 on Saturday where Silva was doing the hands chucked up in the air sort of thing. I said to the boy beside me, I said, like, he's just like kind of chucked it there. We don't need that on Sunday. We need folk to be busting a gut. We need every single player that's out there to be bang up for it and be 100%. You need to know your job. But yeah, I mean, the only thing I agree with, obviously, is Sima's match fitness, match sharpness. I thought he looked good when he came on. I think he should have possibly scored. But I just think, in terms of his overall play, his pace as well, and he's finishing. He scored a lot of goals for us. In the first half of the season. I just think he'll be more of a threat. And I think you're going to bring Silva on at some point. You're going to bring him on because Sima's going to run out of gas. He's honestly one of the first names in the team sheet for me. And as we spoke about at the start, I've played every scenario. I've had lots of time this week. I've played a lot of different starting 11 scenarios in my head, but that to me is I've settled on it now. It'll probably change tomorrow night at like 12 o'clock or something like that. But that seems to me the most plausible way to play in combat Celtic as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sima will play his part on Sunday. I don't think there's any doubt, no matter whether it be from the start or be from the bench. I just think it. Clement said himself that he's not fit enough to play 90 minutes, and I think it was it what's that guy called for STV? I always get his name wrong. What's his name?
Bardwaj.
Yes, so he was saying he's almost like trying to get out him that you're going to tell us you're starting 11, and see questions like that. I'm like, shut your face, man. He's not going to tell you if he's going to start Seema or not start Seema.
I mean, what manager in history has sat and told their whole
Has
starting
ever done
11
it? I know,
two days before a game? It's just a stupid question. Like, come on.
It's another indication of why you should stay clear of the mainstream media. It really is, because it's just ridiculous.
Yep.
It really is to come out with that kind of question.
Yep.
See, even Gilmont's looking at him like, well, what are you expecting me to tell you? Like, away you go.
Yeah,
So,
what planet on you on? Like, as if he's going to get his notepad out and start listing off all the players.
Yeah.
Like,
here's my tactics board. Here's what I plan to do. Here's the shape. Here's the press that we're going to do. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll get my magnets out. Start putting them up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know, but I think Seema will definitely play his part, and he's got the quality to make the difference. And that, look, no matter if he does start or if he starts for the bench, I trust in Clement. I trust what Clement will do, because he deserves to be trusted for this. He really does deserve to be trusted. I don't see him making a hood and arse of it. Touch wood, don't touch hairy wood as well. But touching my head, so I just don't see him making a complete mess of it. I think he'll not overthink it. I don't think he'll overcomplicate it, and I think he'll know, and the players will know exactly what's expected of them on the day, and whether it be Seema starting or coming on from the bench, he will definitely have his part to play. It'll be interesting to see how he does so, but it should be a boost for everyone, a boost for the squad, and a boost for the fans alike that Seema is fit enough to play a part, and I think that's better than not having him there at all.
100%. I mean, I think I don't know if we spoke about it on the WhatsApp today. I don't think we've ever had a stronger bench than we have at the moment. It's really only, I think we've got 3 major injuries at the moment. So really, like, the players in which we've got to pick from on the bench, really, like, with things like Yilmaz and Seema, where they might run out of gas because they've obviously been injured. Seema more long term than Yilmaz. We've got firepower there to bring on. So yeah, I think something like that fills you with confidence as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The bench looking stronger is going to be crucial. It really is, and that's what we've probably been lacking. We've been lacking a strong bench for a wee while, but now it's starting to look the business again. Obviously, with Danilo, Cortez and Ryan Jack, and as I say, no real update on Ryan Jack. I think you can expect him to miss probably much of the rest of the season, I would imagine, which again will be a shame for him to finish his Rangers career like that. But it is what it is. His body's just kind of given up on him, I think, which is a real shame. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fanboy. I think it is a real shame because Jack's been a tremendous servant for this club. He's been there through important times for us. And obviously Danilo and Cortez, I doubt you'll see them before the end of the season. I really do, possibly towards the end, but I don't think there'll be a risk taken. It'll be very much get them to pre-season and get a full pre-season under a bent if we decide to keep Cortez as well. But no, it's good that the injuries have started to come down the way, and the availability is much better. Everybody has their part to play on Sunday. Absolutely everybody. Hence why the picture of today's podcast is everything from everyone, because it is that's what we need. We need the fans, we need the manager, we need the coaching staff, we need the playing staff, we need everybody to be at their peak, and go out and do the business.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It's a key game. It's a key Old Firm game, which drags me on to my next point. And we're doing a bit of an Old Firm special here. We're going to go for 4 major questions that I'm putting to you, Scotty.
4? Oh,
right? 4 major questions.
By the way, everybody, I don't know what these questions are, just so you all know. I don't know what these questions actually are.
Well, yeah, I've been thinking all day about them as well. So, first one, best Old Firm game
that I've ever been to.
That you've ever been to or watched. You can do both. Obviously, the ones you've been to, you feel a lot more emotional about.
Yeah, the best one I've ever been to. Well, see, my first 2 Old Firm games I ever went to were 2 draws. It was a 0-0 draw at Ibrox, and then a 2-each draw at Ibrox, where Rod Wallace scored that kind of crazy. He kind of jumped in the air and flung his boot at the ball from a kind of tight angle. And that one in the back of the net. I think Alan Stubbs scored for Celtic as well, if that memory serves me right. So they were my first 2. So I can't remember my first Rangers win, and that's shocking. My first Old Firm win.
Can you know?
No, mate. I would need to sit and have a proper think of that. Billy, thank you very much. Very,
Cheers,
very
Billy.
much appreciated, Billy. Thank you so much for that. That's very much appreciated. But no, my favourite one. Do you know what one honestly was my favourite one in recent times was the Scottish Cup game when we beat them at Hampden. That was a tremendous day. That was a really good day, and that felt like a bit of a change in the regard, to be honest.
Aye.
So yeah, that was a real good one. That was a real good one. It's difficult, mate. It really is. I enjoyed.
I think we've done this before. We've done this before. I think like last year sometime, and it's honestly so tough. I mean, I really should have phrased it. Your first Old Firm game and your best Old Firm game. My first Old Firm game was the I don't remember. Gaza scored the header. It was 2-1. Gorham had the save off, point blank save off Van Hooydonk right at the end. And my Aunt Jan and Uncle Graham, shout out to my Aunt Jan and Uncle Graham, by the way, they had seats in the corner right beside the away fans when the Celtic fans used to have the full room on. And that was my first Old Firm, and I just remember it just being raucous, absolutely raucous. Like one of the bit. It was so good. That was so that would have been the when we won the season. 8 in a row. Remember Gaza scored a hat trick against Aberdeen.
Yes, mate. That's the greatest game of my life. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Me and you are on the same time frame here, obviously.
Yeah.
But
we're born 3 days apart, mate. So it'd be difficult not to be.
Yes. So it kind of marries up. The other one for me, and it's a bit of a curveball, right? It's the game at Hampden that Barry Mackay scored. Like I ended up getting a ticket last minute for that. My dad ended up coming across a ticket, gave it to me, and that atmosphere and that game and that goal was just unbelievable, man. Like it was a rocket from Mackay because nobody expected us to win as well. Like
I'll tell you my favourite, the Jelavic Hampden game. That was my favourite when we scored in extra time. I disappeared about 20 rows forward that day, and I ended up next to my big cousin David. He was about 20 rows in front of my dad and I. And when we scored, I don't remember how I got next to him, but I just remember being next to him and he just grabbed me. You know, David's an absolute monster of a man.
Oh, he's a unit. He's a unit.
He just grabbed me, kind of shaking me, and I'm like, oh, that was a fantastic game. That's probably up there with one of my favourites. And the day we won the league at Parkhead as well. I remember I didn't go to. I wasn't at that game. I was still probably a bit too young for my dad to let me free to go to that game. But I remember watching that in the telly, and that was a particular good day. We Neil McCann running riot. Yeah.
Oh, it was so good, so good. So the next one is best Old Firm. So obviously given capacities coming back, we're getting more away fans back in. Best Old Firm atmosphere.
The best Old Firm atmosphere.
So it could be anything. It could be a last minute goal. It could be a tackle. It could be something that happened within the game. It could be anything you want. Best Old Firm atmosphere on TV or at home.
The one that I've been to that was the best Old Firm atmosphere for a moment was when Edu scored the last minute goal. Ibrox went.
I knew you were going to say that.
Ibrox went mental, absolutely mental. I'm talking like Europa League semi-final mental. It went absolutely ballistic. That I'll never forget that. Even talking about that now makes the hairs on my face stand up. And also, you remember when Stephen Naismith scored? I hate talking about that. Person when he hit the ball with the outside of his right boot into the top corner at the Broomloan end, and he ran away doing the putting his hands over his ears as if he was a mason and all, like because he was getting accused of Masonic stuff and all that, and he was running away with his hands in his ears and all that, and doing all these signs with his hands. Yeah, that was particularly
that was a high scoring game as well. Was that not? Did that not end up 4-2? It was
4-2. That was
a very good game. Very good game.
Yeah. The Ulster Gazelle scored in that one as well. He scored in that game. Took forever for that one, but in terms of that, probably that just for a moment was the Edu goal because it pretty much secured us the league as well. But I was sitting where you were talking about when McGregor saved Samaras's penalty at Ibrox.
Oh.
I was sitting right where you were, right there they were, and Vladimir Weiss was sitting behind me as well at the time.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So I would say in terms of atmosphere.
I remember Vladimir Weiss. He loved it, didn't he? That season
He loved
because
it. I loved it.
you forget was he not just on loan? Was he not just on loan? And obviously he set the goal up in the Yelovich final. He just and he obviously got injured and he was in amongst all the fans as well. He was proper loving it. He caught the fever, didn't he? He caught the proper Rangers fever that you get.
Absolutely no, and to be slightly unstaunch, he fell victim to because he loved it and he loved the club and all that. He fell victim to how good people thought that he actually was. He was decent. I don't think he was tremendous. There was loads of shite to bring him back all the time. Yeah, he was all right. He was all right. He was okay. Oh, Stevie T, thank you so much, mate.
Stevie.
Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. What she said, if our lads go onto the pitch on Sunday, lads, with the same confidence and belief that Big Phil's got, we've nothing to worry about. Unfortunately, I'm working the weekends, so it's RTV audio for me on Sunday. Oh, mate, I couldn't do that. Couldn't do audio only. I guess couldn't do audio. But Stevie, thank you so much for the donation, mate. That's very much appreciated.
Stevie.
Honestly, that's magic.
Mate.
So yeah, that's probably a couple of my two, mate. Yeah.
Excellent. So the next one is best old firm goal. I mean, we could literally have a whole episode on this. Like, but what's the one, and you don't even have to have been there. The one that got you most excited, the one that got you off your seat, the one that you always think of in the lead up to an old firm. That's a proper belter of a goal. Like, what is it?
Oh God, there's so many, mate. Gaz's header when he had his blonde hair. When he scored at Ibrox, when he ran the length of the park, that one. McCoy's goal, McCoy's last Old Firm goal. I always think about that. Albert's goal in that same game, actually. Laudrup's shot when the Celtic player slipped in the middle of the park and he was at Parkhead and he ran and he scored for about 40 yards. He scored for him. It was an absolute screamer.
Right in the bottom corner. I think it was Tom Boyd that slipped, which makes it even better.
It makes it even better, of course it does. It makes it even better. But it was a screamer of a goal. Laudrup is my favourite player and always will be. So yeah, that one will stick in the mind. There's so many. Goff's header. What else have we got? I'll be missing a few.
I've got three.
Albert's free kick
against Stuart Kerr.
What a goal! Yeah.
No, but do you know what I remember about actually watching that? Like, I was watching it, and mind they put the speed of it up, and it was like something fucking mental. Like, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I'm not. Somebody in the chat might actually know what it was, but they put the speed up, and that is why they called him the Hammer. It was the cleanest strike of football I think I've ever seen in such a big game as well. It seemed so far out as well.
Well, people said as well, there was a few just popped up there. Mendes' free kick from a strike for the corner, even. That's probably one of the sweetest struck goals you'll ever see, man. Like, that's an absolute goal.
It was a Davis cutback because everybody thought he was obviously going to stick it in the mixer, and it was just.
Steve Davis's overhead kick as well. I mean, again, absolutely tremendous. Even Tavernier's free kick as well. That does obviously didn't mean in the time of the game, but still,
I know.
Yeah, there has been many, mate. It would be hard to pick. With Neil McCann's winning goal again with the game we won the league, where he rounded the keeper and put it in the back of the net. You think of that.
Well, you think about remember the Lovencrans final, as it's known, Scottish Cup final, and actually, I'm only bringing this up because I think my dad was clearing stuff out the other day and ended up finding his programme from that game, and I just thought that's too. It's Ferguson's free kick to get his back in it, and the Lovencrans winner. Just I can't mind who it was that whipped the ball in, but it was just that's how a winger should play. Do you know what I mean? And he just stuck his head on it over the advertising boards into the crowd. It was just sheer bedlam, man. Brilliant.
Yeah, aye, but Barry Ferguson, that's probably one of the best performances I've ever seen from a Rangers midfielder that game. Barry Ferguson decided that we were not going to lose that game that day, and he put himself in the history books with that performance. Barry
he just grabbed the game by the balls, didn't he? I like Andrew Muir. That's a great shout, by the way, because somebody posted that Ray Wilkins interview on Twitter the other day, and they'd asked him. I think it was like Soccer AM Tubes or something. They'd asked him like, what's the best club, AC Milan or Rangers? And the love that he had for Rangers, he was a proper player for us. Even though the fact that he actually I don't think he was here that many seasons, but he was held in such high regard. And that game and that goal, wow, it's just to score such a proper, like it was a volley from outside the box, amazing, brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's real classic goals that we didn't really get the chance to see either. So no, mate, there's too many. There is too many. Far too many. He allowed up in the 3-3 game as well, where he scored from, remember the David Robertson goal that he cut offside. It should never have been offside. I think, is that not the one that save happened against Hoydog? Was that not that game?
See, I thought that game was 2-1. I thought that game was 2-1.
No, I don't know won that game. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. My memory, honestly, I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
But these the games in the 90s, the games in the late 90s especially, they were always end to end. And Celtic, give them their dues. Actually, do you know what I mean? They were a good team as well, and that's what just made it a proper spectacle. And had so many good goals and so many good saves.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it was all about. Let's hope it's a classic for the right reasons on Sunday, mate.
Exactly. And then the last one. We don't have to take long on this because we're going to have the same answer. By the way, best old firm tackle.
The best old firm tackle. Kevin Thompson's on.
It's Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, Kevin Thompson's.
Robbie Keane.
Kyle Bartley's as well. That was pretty good.
He stuck somebody up in the air about 10 foot. It was
Scott Brown, I think.
Parkhead as well. Was it Scott Brown? Brilliant.
I'm sure it was Scott Brown. It
makes it even better that it was him. But we're needing.
It is Kevin Thompson. It is definitely Kevin Thompson. So
we're needing Looney to fly into a Kevin Thompson-esque tackle on Sunday, aren't we? Just set the tone. Yes. Set the tone. So speaking of set the tone, let's go on and do our team's scores and scorers for the big one on Sunday. What are you thinking, mate?
So, well, this is on the basis that I think Yilmaz will play, that Yilmaz will be fit. It will be, my opinion, Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Yilmaz. I'm going to go Lundstrom. Diomande, Lawrence. And I'm going to play Cantwell on the right. I'm going to play Silva on the left. And it's going to be Dessers through the middle. It is going to be Dessers that will start through the middle. I don't think it'll be Kamar Roof. I think we'll start with that. I think that's the team he's going to go for. I don't really see. I can understand the argument about maybe dropping Lawrence a wee bit deeper, not playing Diamande and playing Cantwell and Lawrence together, because it did seem to work. Mm-hmm. My fear is who's fit enough on the right hand side, because no disrespect to him, it cannot be Scott Wright, and I don't think Rabbi Matondo's got enough about him to not hide away in this game if push came to shove. So that will be my starting 11. I'm going to go for 2-1 Rangers, and I'm going to go for Cantwell to score.
Excellent. Love it. So I'm going to go the same backline as you. Cantwell outright it's a real curveball, isn't it? Real curveball, but I like it, and it's one that I've been thinking about. So I'm going to skip to there. I'm also putting him outright. I'm obviously going my man D9 up front. On the left, I'm playing Seema. I'm going to start Seema, and if he runs out of gas, you're taking him off and you're putting Silva on. Obviously refer back to my points from earlier on. I think Seema, I think he tracks back better. I think he'll cover that left hand side with Yilmaz a lot better than Silva does. And I just think overall more of a goal threat as well. In the middle of the park, I'm actually playing. This is a bit of a controversial one. I don't know if it'll happen or not. I'm putting Big Douche Sterling in.
Can I change my team? Because I didn't mean to pick what I picked. Oh,
right, on you go.
Didn't mean to pick. No, I've got this wrong, so I wasn't thinking straight. Sterling on the right hand side, and I would drop Diamande, and I'd play Lawrence and Cantwell in the middle. That's what I would do.
Right.
Sorry,
Okay.
everybody.
Okay. Well, no,
but that is actually
no,
what I would do. As I was thinking, I was going, who have I missed? I've missed somebody. It's Sterling. I knew you were about to say him, so I'd play Sterling on the right.
I think Cantwell still on the right might still happen. The only thing that sways me against that is the fact that they played against Aris at home. Maybe he played one of the Europa games on the right, and he wasn't great. But I think if he tucks in, he'll be decent.
He was worse on the left though. When he started on the left,
it was
definitely worse.
Yeah, it was. I think Dujon Sterling playing with Lundstrom in the middle of the park, very combative, and I just think that's what we need. I think Hatate for them is a danger man. I would like to see Dujon Sterling really get close to him. And then obviously Lawrence, I like Lawrence in the 10. I've always liked Lawrence in the 10 from that first goal that he scored at Easter Road. I like his runs and beyond. I think we need that on days like Sunday when we're really looking to break the lines, get forward and get goals. So that's my team. I'm going to go for, do you know what? I've heard it's going to be like 60 mile an hour winds on Sunday, by the way. I think it's going to be a bit of a slog fest. I'm going to go a 1-0 Rangers, and I'm going to go the big man, D9, to score the vital goal.
Fair enough, mate. I'll take it. If it's 1-0 and the Pigeon scores, mate, I don't care as long as we win.
Aye, put the Pigeon up like a salmon. Boom. There we go. So no, I think obviously,
Justin, thank you so much, mate. Very much appreciated. Jamie will do it because Ryan's not here. No, Ali's not here. Sorry, God's sake.
God bless America, Justin. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, Justin, mate. Always there, mate. Very much appreciated.
So that's the teams, that's the scorers. Obviously, as we're ending, are we good to go, Scotty? We've done an hour, haven't we? So
we've done it, mate.
So I'm gonna give you a rousing word to finish for the weekend for everyone to take into the weekend. We've managed to drag ourselves back into this title race. These players they've gave us something to actually believe in again. But it's all down to one man, Big Baldy Phil. Go and lay down a marker, Rangers. Go and show everyone what we're all about. From the first minute to the last, don't let them breathe. Get right on top of them. Take a massive step towards turning what could have really been an average season into a season to really remember. Battle fever is well and truly on. Scotty, thank you for having me, mate.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Well hosted. I hope your team win on Sunday. I hope everybody enjoys it. It is a crucial game for Rangers. All I ask is that the players leave everything on the pitch for us. Leave everything out there. Give your absolute all for this jersey, for this badge that we find so dear to us, this jersey that we find so dear to us. Just go out there, give it all. If you give it absolutely everything, I think we're going to have a very good Sunday. I really do. Play up the famous Glasgow Rangers.
As always, and as Ali likes to say, it's over to you, Rangers. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Thank you very much.